Hi there. Today is February 3rd, and I just really want us to start talking about the things that are limiting us in our lives. And I've really been doing a lot of introspection lately. And what showed itself the other day was something really incredible and actually very sad at the same time. What I'm starting to see is the limits that we live within have been programmed by other people's fears. And I know I keep saying the same thing, but it's just so powerful for us to know this. Because in order to free ourselves from the confines of the things that are holding us back, we need to really face the truth. We need to face it, we need to see it, we need to go through the emotional processing of it. And then we get to the other side where we free it, meaning we free ourselves from it. And, without actually knowing what I was doing these last 19 years, that's really what I've been doing is, I've shared before, I've got a very stubborn personality. And that's actually done some really great things in my life because what it's done is it's kept me moving forward no matter what has happened. So, not only have the situations that are difficult in my life not stopped me, but what I'm here to share is there's no fucking way that people's fears are going to hold me back either. And, really, like, if we start to look at, if we start to look at our lives as children, who is the meanest, most unhappy, most controlling, hardest person to live with? Think about that person. And I want you to start to recognize that that person being controlling and mean and whatever it was is still holding you back. And it's because we're allowing it, and we're allowing it because we don't know it, we don't realize it. And that's why I want to keep talking about this, not for us to get into a state of blame, but for us to see it and then, like I said, to free it. So it's a process because we do have to get good and angry first. Like, there are many, many years of our lives that we bury our head in the sand, and we don't mean to. We don't mean to, but we're not, we haven't seen. And I can speak to women because I know what it's like to be a woman in this world. I don't know what it's like to be a man in this world. And I'm not trying to take away any of your experience if you're a man. But what I see a lot of is women being suppressed and being told and learning from what they see in the relationships around them, learning that it's not okay to stand up for yourself, that what we're here to do is just grin and bear it, shut up, and do what we're told. And that is a very, very hurtful, harmful thing to believe. But we don't even have to know that we're believing it. If we saw it, that's what we're going to be recreating. We recreate our future according to what we saw in our past. And again, like I said, many times we've just buried our head in the sand. We don't talk about this stuff. We don't talk about this stuff. But when we start to gain the strength and we start to look at the truth and the reality of the things that happened as we were growing up, we start to get angry. We start to get angry. It's like, holy fuck. Well, like, that wasn't fair. That wasn't okay. And when we start to realize how much this is limiting our lives, we do get really good and angry. And there is nothing wrong with anger. We are supposed to suppress our anger. If you are hanging on to it, it is eating you alive. I will tell you that right now. I know why I had so many cancers, because I never expressed, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I actually did. I didn't express my anger in a healthy way. I stuffed it all the time. There were certain people in my life that I wasn't allowed to stand up to. So it ate me alive. I suppressed it and I suppressed it and I suppressed it. And then it came flying the fuck out, where I would have these incredible overreactions, this incredible rage with people that I did love, people that did not deserve to be the target of my anger. So I'm sharing this because it's time. It's time for us to move forward. And like I said, if we start to blame anybody, we're missing the mark. We are turning our back on our own strength. It's not about blaming. It's not about complaining. It's about expressing the anger that you were told you were never allowed to express. This is where it's good to find a really good therapist. This is why I'm starting to do the workshops that I'm doing, the Zoom groups that I'm doing, because people need to learn to express that shit out. Not only is it okay to be angry, it's very fucking healthy. You need to be angry. You need to be angry. Anger actually moves your emotions. On the other side of the anger is going to be the sadness, because then you're going to cry that shit out. But if you don't get angry first, you're not going to reach that sadness. And if you're sad before the anger, chances are you're stuck in a state of victim, and you're just that crying is really not getting you anywhere. So what I'm here to share is we're here to start to do this work together every day, facing what we've always been afraid to face. Journal that shit out. Like I said, find a best friend. Don't find somebody that's going to get into the pity party or the blame party with you. Speak to someone that's just going to hold a space and listen. Do not look for somebody that's going to give you advice, because anytime you have advice for someone or someone has advice for you, it's actually meant for ourselves. So what I want us to start to see is, like I said, the beauty of our anger, but knowing that there's an other side to it. It's to express it out so that we're no longer hanging on to it, and then getting to the space where we cry it out, where we feel sad that somebody in our life treated us in that way, or things like that happened to us. Because if you get stuck in the anger, you will never get to that space. But if you don't cry it out, you're still hanging on to it in some way, shape, or form. And the beauty of crying it out means you get to the state where you release it and you see why it happened. You actually gain wisdom from it. I don't know if there's anything in the world that could happen to us that could not create some wisdom for us. I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure. But from my own life, what I've seen is all the horrible shit that's ever happened. I can look back honestly and say, I'm grateful for it all because I gained wisdom from all of it. So like I said, now you get to look back and say, well, this made me stronger. This made me more grateful. This made me more resilient. This made me more stubborn. This, like, there's always going to be, or I'm thinking there's always going to be some wisdom that you get to gain from it. And the step after that is to surrender to it. Let it go. It happened. It was horrible, whatever it was, but now it's time to set yourself free from it. And that is what happens. And sorry, like what happens when we're doing this, I always look at it as a wheel. What happens is we prove to these belief systems that they are not true. We prove that the limits that people were holding us in through our childhood, through our lifetime, we're proving that they're actually not true. So, this is what we're going to start to do every single day. So, place your hand on your heart